and proceeded with the coronation. As soon as the crown was placed on her head, she let out a laughter that no one expected and transformed into a snake before the very eyes of everyone. The people who came for the coronation instantly took to their heels without waiting to be told any further. Once upon a time, in a beautiful kingdom of Zubunda, there lived people who lived peacefully amongst themselves. They were ruled by a king named Azza and his lovely wife named Amma. They had two beautiful children named Akem and Edith. Akem was older than his sister Edith and was to be the next king and ruler of the land. Their parents doted on them so much and ensured they lacked nothing. The sibling bond was very visible to all, and everyone could see that they loved each other dearly. They shared and almost did everything together, as they did not have many friends except for the maids and servants in the palace, as they were not allowed to step out. When the princess clocked 10 years of age, the queen took notice that the princess started having serious nightmares and could be seen visibly shaking each time she woke up. Sometimes she would have to sleep with the queen as it became so bad, and neither the king nor the queen could do anything about it. It continued and eventually stopped after she turned 18 years of age. That is after they had gone to a lot of places with no cure, and they were overjoyed that she could be found sleeping peacefully. But from that day, Edith would be found doing strange and weird things, most times lost in thought and doing strange things. Many men had already started to come for her hand in marriage, but she declined all of them. Most times, she would be seen giving her father advice on where to go and where not to go so he wouldn't get hurt, and things to avoid. So it was no brainer that she was her father's go-to girl before he made any big decision. This continued till she turned 25 years of age. Her brother, close to when he would be coronated as the crown prince of Zubunda, as the next king after his father joins his ancestors, had a stroke and has been paralyzed ever since. And they wondered who would ascend the throne because they can't let an incapacitated person ascend the throne. Edith then asked her father that he should let her lead her people, and he said it has to be a male. She said, "Well, I am all you have got, else you lose the chance of keeping the throne for your generation." The king had a long discussion with his wife, and they agreed to let her be crowned as the temporal heir to the throne till her brother was well and could take over. With a grin on her face, she accepted. The day for the coronation came, and just as they were about to begin, the chief priest asked that the coronation not hold, that what he was seeing wasn't good for the kingdom, and said another family should be considered for the sake of the kingdom. But the king paid a deaf ear to what he had to say and proceeded with the coronation. As soon as the crown was placed on her head, she let out a laughter that no one expected and transformed into a snake before the very eyes of everyone. The people who came for the coronation instantly took to their heels without waiting to be told any further. She went close to her father, beat him, and then transformed back. He asked why she did that and what happened to her. She then asked him, "Did you ever think I would never find out my true origin?" and asked him to speak and confess to what he has done now before she changes her mind. Already weak from her venom, he began to narrate his story. He said that years ago, when he newly got married, it was their tradition to present a healthy baby boy after 5 years of marriage, which will signify the heir to his throne. That if he isn't able to do that, he would risk losing the throne. He said he tried for 3 years with his wife to have a child, but it was impossible. And so the fourth year, they became pregnant and overjoyed and hoped for a son. And indeed, their wish was granted, as they had a son and were so happy. Though it was a very complicated birth, and so his wife lost her womb in the process. But holding on to their son was a great source of joy to them. But a few months later, their son became so ill, very sick, that they all told him that his days were numbered. They couldn't sit back and lose their only son and child, and so he had to make a journey to the Far East, where he stumbled on a community of people of Azara who worshipped snakes. They knew how to perfect healing too, and so he told them the problem, and they agreed to heal his son, given that his son will marry their daughter. And so the snake kingdom can have a form of power, as the queen was recognized as a big symbol of authority. He knew it wasn't possible, as the crown king is to choose a bride from the maidens in his community, and so agreed out of desperation. When he went with his son a few days later, they perfected healing upon him, and so went back with his queen. He then picked a day and went to their kingdom with his strong warriors and killed every one of them, so they would never come to demand anything, but spared her life as she was still a newborn baby girl. And he took her and gave his wife, saying he saw her abandoned in the woods and thought they could raise her as their own. Of course, his wife was so happy as she gets to have another child called her mother. His wife, after listening to all he had to say, began to weep and say, "Why did you have to do all that?" He said he did not know how to break all these to her and did not want to break her heart. He then asked his daughter for forgiveness, that he loves her since the day she was placed in his arms, that he had adored her so much. She quieted him immediately, saying, "Do you love me more than my mother who gave me life? Or my father who had to watch my mother's belly grow, waiting to meet his daughter? You deprived me of their love, and you say you love me? Well, you will be dead soon. Don't bother fighting it. Maybe, just maybe, if you had killed me, all this wouldn't happen. But hey, you owe a debt, and it must be paid in full. Oh, before you die, you must be wondering how I can transform and all. Well, let me tell you a little story. Well, you see all those nightmares I was having? Well, it wasn't ordinary. My people kept coming to me and showing me how they died. It continued till they were able to show me a little remembrance of how my parents were killed and how you took me from my people. All came flooding back to me. It was then I realized that I was never yours, and I was also given the power to transform at will. Oh, how sweet that was. I just had to perfect my plans to ensure I sit on this throne. I was the one who made my brother have a stroke. I wanted to kill him, really, but hey, he did nothing to me. My anger is towards you, and so I will get you back for everything you have done to me. Well, that being said, rest well, Dad. And she gave out an evil grin. None of the palace guards could fight her, as she was already crowned the heir, and so she left for her chambers. The whole palace was in chaos, and no one dared go against the crowned princess. The king passed away, and not even a proper burial was given to him. The queen would be found crying most times as she wondered how her little perfect life turned upside down all of a sudden. With the king gone and her son with a stroke, she wondered how she would outthrone Edith without causing much further havoc. She tried leaving the palace one day and was stopped, saying the princess has ordered that she remains in the palace. She thought of what to do as it has fallen on her shoulders to rescue her son and redeem the whole community of this mess brought upon them by their family. She snuck out one night with the help of her maiden and went to see the chief priest of their land. The chief priest said he warned her husband, but he wouldn't listen, that if she fully transforms on the next full moon, that there is nothing anyone can do, and it will be the end of this kingdom. She pleaded and asked what should be done to reverse this. He whispered some words in her ears, and she thanked him and went back to the palace. Days passed, and on the night she was to take her full form as a snake, the queen rushed into her chambers and poured some substance given to her by the chief priest on her, instantly killing her powers as instructed by him. As that is when she is at her weakest point, she asked what she had done to her, and she told her she wouldn't tell her till she undoes what she has done to her brother. And because she was hurting, she instantly reversed it and asked her mother to tell her what she did. Queen Mother said it can't be undone, that you can never have your powers again, and will live the rest of her life as a commoner. She still complained of being hurt. She replied saying that is going to be the punishment you get for the rest of your life, and she asked the guards to throw her out of the kingdom. With no powers again and not being able to transform, no one feared her, and they did as instructed by the queen. The prince became alright and was crowned the heir to the throne, and he ruled the kingdom all the days of his life with peace and justice, never trying to do anything that would put the kingdom in a siege. The end. Some of the lessons to be learned from these stories are: sometimes when trading with the devil, be very wary of his gifts and offer. Don't go and hurt the ones who saved you in the first place. Know that everything hidden one day will come to light. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Please click on the subscribe button to support us. Turn on the post notification to get notified when I upload a new story. Like, share, and comment your thoughts. Till then, bye.